Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of New Yankee Home Work, where I'm out in the garage hoping to work on what I think will be a quick, small project, but another thing that needs to be crossed off of our repairs list. Let's get started. What I'm working on out here is actually the tracks to the garage doors. Now you might be asking yourself, what's wrong with them? You just opened the garage door fine, you didn't have any problems. Well, the actual problem is that this track is not set correctly, which affects locking the door. The actual problem that we have with the garage door is that the track is set too far outwards, or actually too far inwards to the garage. So with the garage door fully closed, and the lock in position of where it should be, so that it can go through the hole here to actually have the bar close it and lock it, is not gapped correctly. So what we have is it's running into the actual track of the door itself. So what that tells me is that this track may not be set correctly and needs to move outwards towards the outside of the house. The other reason why not being able to lock the door correctly with the correct adjustment of the tracks is a problem is not just because the door doesn't lock, but currently to get it to lock, we have to pull the door out and into the position there, which creates a large gap where the door is supposed to seal. That is allowing a lot of cold air in, and that needs to be remedied. I don't think that I'm going to have any issues with the door opening and closing against the casing right now. I don't see any witness marks or any issues, so I think the door placement is okay, but it's just that the tracks need to be adjusted. Now, I am not a contractor by trade, nor am I a professional at this, or would I say that this is what you're supposed to do. This is just what I'm going to do. I have noticed that the brackets do have slots that should allow for the track to move further outward toward the road. Now, what I'm actually going to do before I make any kind of adjustments is I'm going to mark around the edge of the brackets on the door track just in case this doesn't happen to work correctly, so that I know where I can move it back to at least get back to square one. Before I've even gotten started on adjusting the doors, I've run into a snag. I made sure to climb up to the top track here to make sure that I would still be able to adjust this track along with the other tracks forward, because that will affect how the door opens if I don't do that. What I'm looking at here is that the track already seems to be pushed as far forward as it can. So I have two options. I could loosen this bolt or loosen this nut, which connects to the stud that's on this angle iron that holds this track in place, move the track, drill a hole, add it in, and hope that I get my measurements correct. Or I can try and access the bolts that are up here that actually hold and support the rest of the track to the joists above them. That's what I'm going to attempt to do. If I can't get that to move correctly, or I can't reach it because I do only have a small step stool as of right now, I'll have to stop, wait until I can get a ladder so I can do this properly. But I'm gonna give it a shot. So I quickly realized I may have gotten myself into a bit of a predicament. What I was able to do so far was to move the brackets for the track that runs up and down. And when I did that, I did notice that the upper track here mounts to the same bracket but is separate from the rest of the track. Now that does give me some adjustability with just the lower track and the upper track. Where I thought I had gotten myself into some big trouble was up here with the bracket for the joist. Now, as I had stated previously, I had thought that this hole right up here in the track, well, it was, I didn't think it was, all the way to the back, which should mean that the forward progress of the track will be hindered. However, I did loosen the track retaining bolts on the top where they mount to the joists and noticed I could pull the rest of the track at a slight angle forward, which will give me enough space to move the rest of this track forward. Now, the way I'm going to accomplish that for now is I'm going to leave those bolts for the joists just loosely holding the track, but securely enough so that I can possibly angle that, get everything adjusted, lock it down on the tracks, and then hopefully drive everything back into the rest of the joists and not have any issues. Okay, so now I've gone through my first and what I hope is my only round of adjustments. I'm being a little optimistic here, but what I've been able to do was move both of these tracks further outward towards the road, towards the garage door, and now I have a consistent seal against my actual casing of my garage. Now I do no longer have to pull the door out just to get it to lock. So I am able to run the lock bar evenly and without any extra force. That's exactly what I wanted. I did have to tweak the bar just ever so slightly, just because I didn't really have a lot more room that I could adjust with the track. There is no fixation of the track to the cinder block down here. Is that bad? Probably. I didn't design it, I'm only trying to make it work better. So I've run out of room on the track that I felt I could push in without really affecting these rollers too much. There are a couple rollers, this one particularly, that I am worried may be a little tight and may have to have some other tweaks or adjustments to it. This roller here is also very tight, but that does have an adjustment spot to it. So if that's not where it is comfortable, where it works best, I can adjust that. But now, hopefully, my garage door will open without any problems. Fingers crossed. Perfect. Not absolutely perfect. It is a little tight in some areas, but that really is unedited. That was the first time I opened that door, because if there was going to be a problem, I was going to show you and I was going to keep working on it. However, I made it work. It works the way it's supposed to. Like I said, it's a little tight to open compared to what it was before, but it wasn't correct. So I'd rather it be a little tight right now and it actually be sealing up against the door and the garage opening like it's supposed to, without having to pull out of the door to push the bar in. Thankfully, that was a quick project that I could cross off my list, something that I really wanted to get done, and we can put a lock on this project. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, New Yankee Does It, where we'll have plenty more on the New Yankee Homeworks projects, New Yankee projects, and New Yankee Auto Systems in the future. For now though, see you on the next one.